of them came up with the idea we put a green roof on top of this whole site. And initially, we all thought that is crazy. So the park that we put on top of the roof, the 30 acres, would be essentially a large community park open to the public. It would be applicable for anybody of any ages. You can go up, be very active up there, you can run around on trails. Little kids can play soccer up there. This is a landmark, a legacy project for them and for me. We want something that we look back and say, this is the best we could do.
各位观众朋友，您好，欢迎收看《生活万花筒》，我是主持人赵和。今天非常高兴，请到了来自于 Sandhill Property 的 Peter 与 Susanna Paul 来到我们节目当中。Peter 您好 ，Susanna 你好，
你们好，
各位观众朋友，你们好。
Yeah, 我们今天 we're gonna do this in English, all right? Now you've been here for many years. You came here in the 1960s and the 70s. But did you always know that you wanted to go into commercial real estate development?
Well, I do believe that everything is destined. There's nobody in my family that who's working in business.
Okay.
I'm the only one that's interested in business. And after Peter and I got married, we both have a steady job. He was an engineer and I was an accountant. So after working for a few years, we saved some money, and then relying on his steady income, I started to branch out. And real estate is always an area I find it very interesting.
I see. How about Peter? You actually have more of a real estate construction development. You majored in civil engineering and you majored in architecture from Stanford. So how did you actually ended up, though, becoming owners of a commercial real estate company, though?
Yeah, I always wanted to be on my own. I thought one day I would have my own business. I was too old to get into the high-tech business at that time.
Okay.
So coming from Hong Kong, of course, real estate is what everybody else does. So I thought real estate development sounds good. I might be able to have my own career quickly. So that's why when I was young, of course, you thought you know everything. So that's how I ended up starting my own company when I was 26 years old.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think there are that many real estate developers to start and then in Chinese real estate develop. Yeah.
It's very rare actually in real estate development business, especially commercial real estate development. There almost no Chinese and very little Chinese company.
Right.
I recently looked at a list of top 20, 30 real estate developer in the Bay Area, and I was the only Chinese-owned company on the list.
Okay.
So it's unusual, and when I first started, it was difficult because everybody I dealt with are not Chinese.
Right.
So they see me coming in, they thought, well, what is he doing here? We're not used to seeing that face. And so up to today, after 30 years in the business, we still don't see many Chinese in the real estate development business.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of guts, I believe, and it's not something that's difficult. I mean, it's easy to get into, but there are many projects in the Bay Area that you have done. But I have to say, we have to ask you, what is your favorite project that you've done so far?
I would say my most favorite project is Cupertino Village.
Okay.
It was our first owned development project, and it is a Asian-themed shopping center. And we did it in the 1990s. That was almost 20-something years ago. And the main reason I like it so much, because I have seen a lot of impact on many lives. I can see a lot of people from overseas, especially Taiwan or China or Hong Kong. They were professionals back home. For example, they could be lawyers or doctors, and simply because they don't have a license here and maybe have some language difficulty, so they ended up doing some jobs like working in restaurants and so forth. So I've seen a lot of people who came over to our center just renting a very small space, normally about 800 square feet. And I can see how it changed their lives. And we enjoy actually the process of helping them to get the permit from the city, how to improve their business. And many times we would tell them how to look at business itself.
So you help them to grow their business as well and get started.
Yeah, they help me too.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, you're kind of like the pioneers in the commercial real estate development area because you were the first one that brought in Ranch 99 or 99 Ranch from Southern California. Prior to that, they were just like separate, small grocery stores here and there, but not a mall like that of that scale.
Well, if you're saying we're old, yes, we are very old.
No,
we actually
that's not
had,
my intent.
Actually, 99 Ranch Market was in San Jose before we talked to them.
Okay.
And Milpitas too.
In fact, it was a new experience for us because
Right.
even though I came from China and Hong Kong, I didn't know what to do with Chinese center.
Okay.
So the owner of 99 Ranch Market was actually my mentor. He taught me how to get this done.
Okay, so that he kind of helped you to have the concept. Did you develop it together? How did it generate? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, at that time, believe it or not, the tenant that was there was Whole Foods. I was so smart, I decided to kick them out of the center.
Okay. They didn't do as well.
Yes, and I was going to develop a conventional shopping center. The owner from 99 Ranch Market called me one day. He said, what you're doing here is stupid. That's a much better way to go about it. He explained to me how the Chinese tenants in Southern California are always doing this Asian center. So why don't you do one here in Cupertino? And at that time, I thought Asian theme center, it doesn't seem like a very class A. So I didn't want to do that. But it ended up, when I listened to him, it turned out very well.
So I think, you've done so many projects so far, but what would you say that's one representative of that represents all your projects?
Well, to me, the successful project defined financially, you have to obviously do well, because if you invest, you should get a return on your investment. The second thing is, I think from a professional standpoint, the project has to be successful artistically. It has to look good, it has to work well.
Right.
And the third part is that you have to be accepted by the community. And so if you don't meet all these criteria, it cannot be a success. So Cupertino Bridge was we're very grateful because it was it fits very well into the city of Cupertino. It's very popular, people really liked it. We did Hilton next door, and looks very good. In fact, won an award, and also our operation was ranked #1 in the country at that time.
Wow, number 1. Okay.
And then we went out in Cupertino again. We went down the street to do that Whole Food. Remember the Whole Food that kicked out of
Right.
Cupertino Bridge?
Oh, okay.
I built a new store, and that
Now
one
it's
was
doing very well.
That store, I'm pretty proud to say, is the largest in the Western United States, and it's
It
the most
is.
successful one.
Oh, okay.
And I go there all the time. I go to Cupertino Ridge all the time, and I see a lot of people there, and it makes me feel good that the people in Cupertino also enjoys that particular project. So to me, that is very satisfying.
You're a visionary, I think, because a lot of times you can't really expect that Apple's going to establish the company there. You don't really know what to expect, how the city will develop until that actually happens. But I want to spend some time talking about the project that you're working on, which will hopefully bring a lot of contribution to the community, and it's the largest in the world that has the green roof garden. Can you tell us, how did you come up with the concept and maybe some features? Yeah.
Well, I would like to say I came up with it on my own, but it's not true.
Okay.
We had a design competition.
Oh, you did?
We have invited 7 different architects from around the world who are famous for their achievements. We asked them to submit their ideas. And one of them came up with the idea, we put a green roof on top of this whole site. And initially, we all thought that is crazy. Cannot be done.
It must be expensive.
We dismissed it. Not only that, but we thought, practically speaking, I asked him, has it ever been done in the world before?
Right.
He said, no, never.
Okay.
So I said, well, the reason they haven't done it before is because it cannot be done. He said, no. I said, well, what's the reason?
Right.
He said, well, people don't have any guts to try it.
Is it the technical aspect or the financial aspect or all of it?
Well, first of all, it's a big undertaking. The biggest green roof in the world up to now is about less than 20 acres. So we're talking about 30 plus acres in our case. Second thing, it's not a real green roof. It's actually a layer on top of the roof.
It's like a park, really.
Actually has a lot of slopes to it because we're
Right.
able to do that. And the thirdly, of course, is technically very challenging and also very expensive.
Okay, so
So as most developers say, why would I do that? Because I'm not going to get income from the roof.
Okay,
So
so-
it's a waste of money.
this is going to be open to the public. That's free for everybody
Yes.
to enter.
Well, the idea basically was that in Cupertino, even though it's a suburban city, there's been a lot of building going on, so a lot of open space being taken away.
Right.
And so in that part of Cupertino, there's very few parks or green spaces. And when we talk to communities about what they would like to see in a project, one of the items on the list was they'd like to see more open space. Well, how do we create open spaces? Today, if you look at Valco, it's 50 acres, but it's 50 acres asphalt parking lot and buildings. There's no green space there at all. So we decide, well, this might be a great opportunity to provide that benefit to the city. So the park that we put on top of the roof, the 30 acres, will be essentially a large community park open to the public. And there will be all kinds of activities that will be taking place up there. And so it will be applicable for anybody of any ages. You can go up, be very active up there. You can run around on trails. Little kids can play soccer up there. They can have barbecue up there. They have performances up there. We have an outdoor theater.
Yeah.
We have an indoor banquet hall. So if you have an event for 1,000 people, come over here.
1,000, wow. It'll accommodate
We actually
that.
have a garden, for a vegetable garden. We have a vineyard, a
Vineyard,
real vineyard.
Yeah, I was surprised that you were going to have a vineyard that actually is. Do you plan to produce wine from there?
Sure, sure.
Really? Wow.
Everything we do on the roof is actually functional. And I want to say that the roof is not really a gimmick because the real purpose of the roof is obviously to provide open space and recreation for the community. But on the benefit of the roof is also if you people know that in this area, a lot of people talk about going green or being sustainable. And they have a system called LEED. They rank these different projects. You can start with LEED standard, it can go to silver, it can go to gold, and it go to platinum is the highest level. And our project will aim for the platinum level of LEED.
What is LEED?
L-E-E-D. That's the
LEED.
environmental sustainable. In other words, it will conserve energy,
Okay.
save water, and also provide for a very high usage open space. So we think that this green roof is environmentally sensitive, it's beneficial to the city, and also it'd be a great place for everybody to be up there. We think that it'd be very active, and will be. I can't wait to see that happen up there, and you can see people up there for all kinds of different reasons.
Yeah.
You can have a big concert up there. We know that, for example, we can accommodate 2,000 people
Yeah.
on the roof
Yeah.
for different functions. And other times you can just stroll up there. You can sit by the wine bar outside by the vineyard. And also we have a trail for almost 4 miles. So you can go run it, you can walk it, jog it. We have open spaces for people who want to, say, have Tai Chi groups out there. That'd be fine too. So I think that this will be unique. Not only is it unique in Cupertino, it is one of a kind in the world. So after we're done with it, we hope that will bring some, a lot of people will, in fact, we already have a lot of people overseas asking us, wow, this green roof I've never seen before, how does it work?
Yeah.
So I think this is something that we hope that by the time we be done, the city of Cupertino will really love it and they will be proud of it.
You'll get a lot of visitors for sure, because I would, it's one thing to have one flat, garden, but you're going to have actually a landscape of hills and,
Right.
yeah.
And I have to add that before the architect came up with the idea of the green roof,
Yeah.
we have 30 open houses for the residents of Cupertino. And we asked for their opinions, ideas, and this is one of the things they like to see is open space.
I see. So now, I guess we're going to expect a lot of visitors to visit the garden. So how are you going to resolve the parking issue then?
Yes. Well, first of all, people don't have to worry that we're going to turn that into Disneyland here. But I see most of the people in Cupertino would be our main guest, and then there'll be other people out of town who could come in and take a look. One of the things we obviously have to deal with is the traffic and parking.
Right.
This is a common problem we run to every single project in the Bay Area. And we know the solutions because we've done it so many different times. One thing you see on the project is that you don't see any parking really on the ground. We put almost all the parking underground. We have almost 10,000 parking spaces.
So the cars will have to just drive, swirl down.
Yes.
I would imagine it's more expensive to build than.
Yes, more than twice, 3 times as much as
Yeah.
putting cars on the surface.
Right.
But we will have adequate parking, so people don't have to worry about all these people right now parking in the park on some neighborhood streets, because frankly, there's no place for them to park if they don't park on our site. And so it'd be very efficient. But parking is not the only traffic issue we're dealing with, because we also are very aware what's happening around here, people's concern.
Right.
And so because of the size of the project, we're able to do a lot to what we call mitigate and improve the traffic, not just our own traffic, but the existing traffic conditions. So in addition to providing this huge underground parking where people circulate down into the basement, for example, you won't see any moving trucks up the street. You will not even see any service trucks, no trash, nothing out there. And most of the time, the traffic will flow underneath the surface rather than on the street. So like Wolf Road and Stevens Creek will not get much traffic because they all be underneath. We also will be providing, between us and Apple, we'll be putting up like $60, $70 million to improve the 280 freeway interchange on Wolf, because that's one problem today, is that it need to be widened, expanded. So that will relieve a lot of traffic at the intersection. We're also going around the entire city, and we have roughly 20 intersections that we'll be improving over today's condition. We will also have a new program where the office, people who work in the office, we have a cap so that only 56% of the people can drive to work. The other 44% of the office employees will figure out a way to get there through shuttle system, sometimes private shuttle or public shuttle or carpool. But we also, to help that, we also going to run our own shuttle system all around Cupertino. So this is for Cupertino residents. It's a free shuttle. If you're at other parts of town, if you want to come to Valco, you don't need to drive if you don't want to. Just take a shuttle. We'll take you there. We'll take you to the train station. We'll take you to YMCA. We'll take you to the library. So we do have a lot of traffic solutions. So we are looking to actually not only to handle our own traffic, but to try to improve on what's existing today.
I would say this is the biggest project you're tackling right now. That's the most difficult, the most expensive, and most challenging. And I would think security issues, safety issue is a big one too, because the garden is going to be up on the roof. So you're going to have to worry about people maybe falling off, maybe, and then the California is an earthquake area. So
That's actually, because the roof is so interesting, we got all kinds of questions from people wondering, first of all, will kids fall off the roof, because the roof undulates from about 40 feet all the way to 90 feet. So people say, well, what happened when you're up there? So that will obviously be an issue. We obviously know how to take care of it. People wondering how can water this whole place? Well, actually, we don't have any green grass up there. It's more natural landscaping, open space. And if we do water, then we just recycle water. So we're not wasting your drinking water. People ask, will it catch on fire? What if it burns?
Right.
No, fire department has approved this. We know how to handle that. People wondering, is it too heavy? Will it collapse? The weight of the roof is roughly equal to 4 levels of building. So it's really not that much big a deal. We can handle that. Earthquake, would that be safe in an earthquake?
Yeah.
Maybe people cannot get it today, but this is actually safer in an earthquake than without a roof by a factor of 3 times. In other words, the buildings underneath it are much safer because of the roof on top of them. So we have all kinds of questions that came up regarding the roof. Who can be using up there? What happened at night when you have lights up there?
Right.
So we are coming up with answers to everyone. This roof has been designed by a team of about 30 professional firms. And the people who have done it before on a different scale, but they have done it before. So it's not like something that we have just trying out to see whether it works or not. We already know it will work. And we know how much it costs too, so we are prepared.
Yeah, I can really see a picture of what it would look like. Actually, there's a website if people want to take a look at it. They can get more information from there, because we only have limited time. We can't really cover everything. But even though I can see this is something that will contribute to the community, that will add a lot to the community, but the truth is you've been encountering some opposition from the community. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, that is true. I think the biggest reason is because our project is pretty big, so some people are a little fearful of what will happen when you have big changes. Valco has been there for 40 years, and even though it's not doing well, people kind of get used to it. So changes like that happen, people usually are a little fearful. The second reason is because our project is pretty complicated. If you compare to Apple campus next door, they have one building, the big round building. It's very easy to explain. Our project has so many different parts to it, and if you don't pay attention to it, you may not know what we're up to. And so for the precise reason, because my personal experience is that when you talk to people who live in Cupertino, some of my friends and families, people I know, first thing is they really don't know that much about what we're proposing.
They don't know the details.
So, and then I sit down with them for 15 minutes, I explain things to them, and they will also realize what this is all about. And I would say almost 9 times out of 10, or maybe 10 times out of 10, they would say, this is great for the city. I would like to see it happen here. This is something we can get behind and support. So for this reason, we actually set up a showroom on site in Valco where the entrance to Dynasty Restaurant is.
Oh, currently, right now.
Yeah, we put all the management people on site so we can answer any question. You're welcome to walk in, drop in, talk to us, ask any questions you have. We have a large scale model. We built a section of the green roof for you to see how it looks like. We will have people there to take care of anything that you come up with, and we have videos, animations, and we have lots of renderings. The idea is that this is a very important decision for people to make come November. And I would like everybody to make the decision with the information that's accurate and detailed. Mm-hmm. And it'd be very helpful if you invest 15 minutes of your time. Mm-hmm. Just drop by, come talk to us, or visit our website, which is revitalizevalco.com. And we'd be glad to talk to you. We have a full team of people outreaching to the community. Because we want everybody in Cupertino to know what we're up to, and then hopefully you like it. But regardless of what you feel about it, at least when you vote, you have a reason to say yes or to say no.
So most people who are not really supporting this is because they don't have the accurate information, or
Exactly.
they have no information at all. So I guess most people are just concerned about the traffic, about the dust associated with construction, and what to expect. I guess they just don't know enough to be able to.
Some people worry about school impact, okay. And if I can, if they will come in, they know actually we're helping the school.
Yeah.
That's why the 2 school districts, the elementary school district and the high school district, are actually supportive of our project. They're not against us because they know when the project takes place, they will be benefited by what we're doing for them.
Okay.
You want to talk about the Innovative Center?
Quickly, we not only are not overcrowding the school, we're building a new elementary school for the school district. And we also going to build an innovation center on our property for the high school district. Right.
Okay.
This is for Cupertino students are very innovative. And so this will give them a chance to experiment. This is almost like an incubator, a startup company for high school students.
Oh, okay.
We will have this entire center built out for them, and they can come and build robots if they wanted to. And so this is something that the high school district is very excited about.
Yeah.
We also do adult education there as well.
So this is only for Cupertino citizens, residents?
Only for Cupertino high school students.
High school stuff. Oh, okay. Wow. So I guess if you're living in Cupertino, that's something that you can look forward to.
Yeah, remember our doors always open.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I think it's been an interesting adventure for you, working on various details, and I guess the project will be completed in 5 years once it gets approved, right?
Yeah, we have built in phases. First of all, everybody loves the AMC Theater and the ice rink and the bowling alley, so we cannot lose them. So what we're going to do in the first phase is to relocate them to a new building, and they will all be there, and they will not be going away. Okay. And after that, we will then start the second phase to complete the rest of the project. So it takes roughly 4 years, 5 years to do that. But we do it in phases, so people don't have to worry about we're going to block the traffic all for 6 years out there. It's not going to happen. But we think that once we can get going, we will continue to finish it. We will not be stopping and going. A lot of people wondering whether a project this size, costing this much money, do you have the ability to handle that? Can you pay for it? And are you going to say, well, I can't do the green roof anymore because I run out of money?
Okay.
But we have prepared for it. We actually have spent about a year working on the plans, and during that period of time, we have complete budgeting. We have a very good idea right now how much it costs us.
Okay.
So it won't be any surprises.
Okay.
And based on we know how much it costs us, not myself, right? I don't have that kind of money, but I have a financial partner who have committed to it on a long-term basis, because I told them this is a very expensive project, but it's worth it. But in order to get your money back, you probably have to wait 16, 17 years. And are you willing to stay in there that long to commit to it?
Okay.
And they told me not only they're willing to stay that long, they're going to be there even after I die. Wow. So it'll be a generational long-term commitment. We're looking at it as a reason we're doing that, not because we're crazy, not because both of us, I'm getting to a point where I might be retiring pretty soon, and my financial partner has projects all over the world, but they want something that they all feel like this is a landmark, a legacy project for them and for me. We want something that we look back and say, this is the best we could do. We can do any projects everywhere, but this is where we put everything together. We want to do something that we are going to be feeling proud of, and we want the city of Cupertino to really accept it and feel proud of it. And this will be something that will last for generations. And so for that reason, we're putting our efforts into making the best we can be. We try to do it every single project, of course, but this one here is truly going to be one of a kind.
Yes.
It'll be highest quality possible. And everybody who work on the project from our side, even though we haven't started working yet, we have a team of more than 50 professional firms working on it. When I talk to them, we don't talk about anything else except pride. This is something that you all have to take pride in. We're doing something different than other people. This is not a regular project. I need you to do your best. I need everybody to understand what we're trying to achieve. And you got to be able to put your heart into it and to make it your legacy too. So that's how we all feel about this project, and we're really hoping that we can show the community our dedication and commitment that we're going to do the best we can.
Yes. So thank you so much for sharing with us. But I still feel that people still need to invest some time to understand all the details,
Yes.
perhaps to get their questions answered. We're very glad to have you here. 所以呢，我想观众朋友呢，可能需要花一点时间了解这个全世界规模最大的这个屋顶花园哈，也能够上他们的网站去多加的了解，能够回答他们的问题，回答这个观众的问题。好的，感谢观众朋友收看今天的节目，祝你有个愉快的一周。我们下周同一时间再会。